Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Well, I'm Joe Fabrizio. I'm the Commissioner of Public Works. I just want to, before I get started, I want to just mention that we have a couple of dignitaries here from the city limits. We have Councilman Bendo, who's sitting here in the audience. We have Dan Crichton, our city manager. We have John McNally. We have our head of our public relations. We have Scott Kemmons, our building commissioner. We have our former commissioner of public works. We have Rob Rath. He worked here for 22 years. Yes, exactly. Yes. Andy Salino is here from National Grid to answer any questions if you have any. And we have three representatives from DMV, Matt Alvarado, Brian DeFeo, and I just remembered, okay. And of course we have Thomas Dedley contracting representative. So we have everything. So who was here when we met last December 6th? I'm just curious. Oh, so actually we have a lot of newcomers here. When we left off in December, there's been a lot of work that's been done on this project since then. Like one of the biggest things people asked at the last meeting was, are you going to replace the street light? And at the time I said no. But one of the good things is, based on those comments, we actually added that in. And that's incorporated in it. So we're going to put all new colonial street lights, just like you see on Doyle, on Pacific, 12-foot high post-top luminaires. We're going to put that in all the walks now. And I think that's really going to add something to the project. And plus they're upgrading all the street lighting. So that's number one. We also, what else did we do here? So we also bid the project. That was a big part of this whole thing. We bid the project. It came in at $4.7 million. And the low bidder was Thomas Dedley Contracting. They're a very reputable contractor that we've worked with before. We also awarded the construction inspection for the project to D&B Engineers and Architects. Again, that's the representative that you see here. You're going to see this guy a lot. His name is John DeFeo. He is going to be the inspector on the project, and he's going to be talking to many of you. Another thing we did is we developed, which was handed out a water service agreement. It's basically a form where John's going to come around to every house with the representative of the contractor, and they're actually going to talk to you and explain to you where the new water service is going. They're going to actually work with you and prepare a sketch to show you like where it's going to go down the property line, and they're going to ask you to sign off on it. Okay. But again, so John's a really great guy. I have 100% faith in him. You'll see my face around a lot. You're going to see. Oh, I forgot Mike Longin. He's the head of the water department. I can't forget Tommy Cannon, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. You want to say thank you?
Christine as well in my office. So we really came a long way. So we did, and plus we actually borrowed the money. So we had to put money in the capital budget, and we had to get the capital budget approved by the city council, which it was. So we're here. We're ready to build this project starting next month. So I'm not going to keep too long because they're going to give DMV going to give a nice little presentation, go over the project again. It's very similar to the one that was last time, and then we're going to open up to questions. Oh, and one other thing that happened in the last 6 months is National Grid decided they want to change their gas mains. They actually run in the back of the house also. So they want to put their gas mains in the same trench we're putting the water mains on the walls. Big change. I was actually a little uptight about it today. So we've had meetings already, and they're telling me it's going to be seamless. They're going to work with our contractor hand in hand. And I know Andy for many years, so I think that'll happen. But they're all going to be doing that work as well. So now you're going to be upgrading the gas. That also runs behind the house. That'll be in the front of the house now. So he's going to talk maybe briefly about that later. I don't know which on the spot. But he's going to need appointments to go in every house as well, because they have to do that for the gas. So, again, that being said, I'm going to turn it over to one of you to talk about this.
All right, everybody. I'm John DeFeo. Like I said, I work for DMV Engineers and Architects. We are the design engineer, and we're going to do the construction management on the project. We're working with the GC, Thomas Dedley. That's Arthur. He's their super. So we'll be working together with him. You want to start with the, Again, we're going to be doing coordination with PSEG for the lighting, and National Grid also to do the gas main work that's going to be going along at the same time as our water main. Phase one of this project is New York to Grand Boulevard and West Park to West Beach Street. That's this phase. This is an existing layout, like they were talking before. Right now, the current 4-inch mains run in the backyards of all the walks and not actually in the sidewalk. So this causes a problem for serviceability. And also, there's no cross mains at West Walnut or West Olive. So that also, it affects serviceability. If you have one part of the line go down, you have to shut the whole line down. Whether when you install these 2 additional mains, part of our phase, you have more places that you can shut off the water and do repairs without affecting everybody on that street. This is just another rundown of the project objectives. Like I said, the current condition of the water mains are in the backyards. They're not serviceable. And the new mains are going to be installed in the walks, down the walks with the natural grid gas. And basically that'll allow, you'll have the curb stop and the curb valves in the right of way on these, so that way it'll be able to be accessed from the front of your house rather than going in the back. I know a lot of people added decks, patios back there and stuff like that, so that'll no longer have to be affected if they have to shut off the water. Also, this is just a sample photo, but the walks are going to be replaced. No more sidewalks that can cause ponding, sediment, stuff like that. They're going to be permeable pavers, which will be better for water runoff, and also they look aesthetically nicer on those walks. That's a little sample photo of the site lighting he's talking about. Like I said, I'm from Long Beach. I live close to the Pacific. I got a newborn baby, so we do a lot of night walks. These lightings they're really, really nice at night. I wish I had them on my block, but you guys are getting them on your streets. They're beautiful. So you guys really, the retro LEDs, they're really clean and classy. So that's one of the items. One of the other things we're talking about was the gas service. We met with Andy a few weeks ago. He kind of went over how we're going to try to coordinate it to provide minimal impact to the residents. They're going to be doing it at the same time as us. They're going to be right in the same trench with us, right behind us while we're doing the water. They're going to follow with us. Same thing with the house services. They're going to work with you guys on showing you a layout and basically going from there. Also, go back. Oh, too low? Usually I'm just a little loud. All right.
So, too loud.
We want to hear you.
All right. Also, all the mains on the actual cross streets, the roads are going to be repaved from gutter to gutter. This is just kind of a topographic layout of it, showing the existing sanitary and water main in the backyard. And this is the new layout showing the water services down the walks, and then the curb stops in the right of way. And pretty much this is now the new layout showing the 6-inch mains down the walks, and the 2 8-inch mains that are being installed on West Walnut and West Olive. It's a little rendering of what it would look like on a property. Pretty much that's the water shutoff valve, and basically Novelli intends on directional drilling where they can. Based on that, there'll be a receiving pit and an entrance pit where they can run the piping, and that'll cause minimal impact, minimal disturbance. But again, that's going to be case-by-case basis based on your property. So this is the current phasing. So you see here, just for reference, this is West Park Ave, this is West Beach, that's New York Ave, and that's Grand Boulevard. So basically what Novelli intends on for Phase A, they're going to run the 8-inch mains on West Walnut and West Olive. And then they're going to start with Phase B, which is the south side from Beach up to Olive, starting on May Walk and working their way across to September Walk with the 4-inch mains, 6-inch mains, excuse me, and then the house services. So basically, when we do start setting up these appointments, most likely what's going to happen, they're going to be reaching out to those properties first because that's where they intend on doing the work. So pretty much concurrently while they'll be installing the mains on Walnut and Olive, they'll be reaching out and scheduling appointments for the first set of houses that they're going to do the 6-inch mains down the street and the actual 1-inch house services. This is construction details. Everyone knows that the walks are tight. Pretty much Novelli is going to provide 48 hours notice on when they're going to be working in those areas that you guys may be affected by. They're going to provide at least 1 lane of access, either at one side of the walk or the other side of the walk, depending on where they're working at. If you do need to if you are leaving for work or something like that in the morning, we will work together with you on a day-to-day basis. We're going to be out there. I'll be out there. Either Arthur or someone else from Arthur who's designated person will be out there and just help you guys. Pretty much it'll be Arthur and me. And we'll make sure that you guys have access to getting around safely. We ask you to try to please be mindful. We're going to try to keep the construction material and all the stuff away from homeowners and everything, but like I said, it's very tight, so we're going to try to do the best we can and try to make it clean and keep it nice. Working hours are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the staging area is going to be at the 401 Grand Boulevard parking lot. I think they've been using that for their other asphalt paving work they've been doing in the area as well. This is what Joe was talking about, the water service agreement. So pretty much what's gonna go happen probably, I'd say sometime in September, we're gonna start reaching out to you and setting up appointments with every homeowner. And we're gonna try to, based on where your water meter is and how your layout of your house is, if you have any underground utilities or anything like a fuel tank or anything like that, we'll talk to you about that. And we're gonna try to come up with the best route that we can that'll hopefully have the least disturbance to your property. Like I said, we're gonna try to work with you on that, try to see what we can do and see how we can make this work. We know some areas are tight, some people have a lot of additions to add or other items to add to their house. We're gonna try to figure out the best route together. So that way you guys we're being transparent, you guys understand what's going on. And everything that we do affect during this install, per the contract, will be restored to its original condition. This is just some key components of the project. There's going to be 3,700 linear feet of new 6-inch diameter water mains. That's going to be the water mains that are going down the walks from beach all the way up to park. Was it May walk to September walk? Yeah, 1,700 linear feet of new 8-inch diameter water mains, West Walnut and West Olive. There's going to be 120 new water services. Like I said, the installation of a gas main with National Grid. They're going to be working the same time with us. Novelli is going to make the trench a little bit wider for them so they can lay their mains in the same trench at the same time. So that way they don't have to come back twice, and National Grid won't have to come back 5-6 years down the line and rip up the purview pavers that we just put in. It'll only affect you guys one time. Restoration improvements, like I said, permeable pavers, a lot nicer than the initial sidewalks you guys have now. And then there's 2 Olive and Walnut. We're going to get asphalt overlay after they finish the main work. So those will be paved from gutter to gutter. We're going to leave the dirt side, so that's better runoff. And then the installation of the new lighting system. So all the street lighting on the walks are going to be replaced with the new retrofit LED lamps. This is just a 10-year project timeline. So the water service agreements are going to be more like September now, not August. Doing that's already August 15th. We know we're not going to get to everybody before then, so it's going to drip into September. And then the construction commencement, like I said, it's going to start sometime in October. That phase A, again, if you don't remember, I'm going pretty quick. It's going to be the gas mains, the 8-inch mains on Walnut and Olive first. And then phase B is going to be the 6-inch mains starting on May Walk across in between Beach and Olive. And then how they're going to phase, once they finish those walks, they're going to shift up between Olive and Walnut, and then the last section will be between Walnut and Park. The goal is to finish by April 2025. I think the latest was before Memorial Day. Again. I think we went too fast, but no, but oh, you want to pull back? Can you pull back the phasing map? Yeah. So pretty much, these are the 8-inch mains. We're going to run the 8-inch mains across from, I don't know which way they're going to start, but they're going to run the mains from New York to Grand, and from New York to Grand on West Olive and West Walnut first. And then after that, they're going to shift down to this green phase right here, and they're going to start on these streets, these walks between the Beach and West Olive. May walk through September on between Beach and West Olive, and then the next phase they're going to shift up north between West Olive and West Walnut.
I have a question for you. I live in Maywalk, and across from me is the restaurant. So there's absolutely no access to one side of the walk. And then my neighbors have a fence and a raised patio. So it's a pretty challenging place to try and stage your items. Are we gonna be stuck with you staging right outside of our house while you do this entire walk? Because I don't know where else you're gonna be staging materials and such, and I'm certainly not looking to be inconvenienced while you're working outside of 3 other homes.
The construction generally doesn't work that way. Like they're never going to stage and plant themselves in front of one house. The staging area for the project is going to be right in the center of all over here. The parking area that's right up here between Grand and New York. So when they're doing that walk, of course they're going to be putting in a 6-inch main, which will be disruption. And we appreciate your patience.
But I also have a trailer in my side. Is that going to have to be moved?
What's going to happen is, John, you're going to be dealing with John out in the field, and there's gonna be a lot of case-by-case situations, let's face it, and we're gonna deal with, we'll be with you out there, and we'll.
Well, I think what I'm really trying to understand,
Yeah.
so there's the different areas of the walk, there's the places that people use for their yards, and then there's that center walk. Are you gonna be having to disrupt that area that people use for their yards, or just that center area?
The center area is for the mains, but we also have to install 1-inch service lines to your house, so it's gonna be a little bit of both. But I wanna answer your question, but I have to go out and actually see it with the contractor, and we can work with you on that. Because it's, like I said, there's gonna be niche situations for every person here, and that's why we're setting up these appointments, so we can go through it with you. Because I can't answer right now, because I don't know exactly your layout, I'm not there, you know it better than I do, you always know better than I do, but that's why we're gonna work with you on it and try to come up with a solution so that you're okay with it.
Okay.
And just to go back, one other thing you mentioned before, the intent is to do what's called directional drilling from the main that's in the walk to the back of the house, meaning that there will be little disruption. But we don't really know that until we actually get out in the field and see each individual property. Because you may have to rip up, whether it's a sidewalk or a deck or something along the perimeter of the house to get that service in. But again, we don't know. But whatever happens, they are responsible 100% to put it back to better or existing or better condition.
And
That's in the contract.
that will be in the contract by house by house.
That's
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
But we really have to meet with each, that's why I can't stress enough that, you know, we're gonna be meeting with each homeowner and going over that, each house, each situation, because there is no cookie cutter in this situation. There's nothing that is, everything is totally different in every single house. And, our initial intent was to do something like that, is to try to put a spec together where is, you know, we do this at this house, we do this at this house we replace the deck, this one we do a sidewalk, this one, and it was almost impossible, so we decided to take the approach that the contractor is 100% responsible, to put it back the way it was. It's up to them, they gotta get from the front of the house in the walk to the back of the house, to connect to the whole the service where it comes off the old main. They have to
Pre-construction,
restore it.
yeah.
Okay.
Pre-construction photos are also required per contract, so the contractor is gonna hire a photographer, and they're gonna take pre-con photos at every house to show previous conditions before they even start working on there. So that way, there won't be no discrepancies about like, oh, you didn't damage this or we damaged that, so that way they're gonna take multiple photos at all angles of the house, so that we have that.
Okay.
We have, in 2016, when we rebuilt after Sandy, we put brand new concrete in front of our entire house. We graded it properly, there's no ponding. I'm concerned with this permeable pavers. And I have seen how they have not functioned well here in our community because of sand. Are they going to be putting concrete underneath these and then pavers? Or are they just going to put pavers? And if that's what they're going to do, who's going to maintain these pavers from being, they're going to sink, they're going to cause more ponding than you would like them to be correcting? Who's going to pick the color of these pavers? Hold on, I have more questions in my thought process here. And the maintenance of them, the color, and the grading. Which way are they going to be graded? And do we have an option to maintain what we have there now, the cement? So we put, in 2016, after Sandy, we built a brand new home. We have 2 brand new homes right next door to each other. We have no ponding. We have no problem. The old cement to the north and the south of us, this is on September Walk, ponds up to your shins. But we don't pond. What are we gonna do? So I guess my real question is, what are we gonna do when they do pond and they're pavers? Who's gonna be responsible? Homeowners or the city? And how long will these pavers be warranted to hold up from not crumbling as they have done in the past?
I know there is a workmanship guarantee through the contract, but as far as maintenance of the pavers, I believe that would be a city responsibility over time.
So that means we're, at 100 years, we're never going to get another paver
Let me
put down.
step back from that. The way the code is written is that the homeowner is responsible for the sidewalk in front of the house. but the
So I
city
wanna
owns
keep
it.
my front the way it is, as I paid for it, probably about $10,000 plus.
That's not your, that property, the walk itself, that's not your property.
But I was responsible for maintaining it the way it is.
Correct.
So why should I, and many other people that have done this after Sandy, why should we be responsible to then have insults and injury thrown in our face saying, okay, now you have to replace these pavers when they're no longer functioning properly?
I mean, pavers are actually better than, typically it's more attractive, it's better, most people tend to like them. It's supposed to be a benefit to the
Salt
homeowner
is
or not.
gonna eat
Any of
them.
the things that you're saying, that's why I'm a little surprised, quite honestly. Generally, you know, what happens when we do these projects, the homeowner, we do it, the contractor is responsible for one whole year. So if there's anything that happens in that year, they're responsible, but everything after that year, the way the city code is written, that any sidewalk in front of anybody's house, the city owns it and the homeowner maintains it.
I get that.
That's
Now,
what
I have pavers, my whole entire property is paved. has
Up to the
pavers.
walk, up
Up
to
to
the walk.
up to the walk is paved. As I stated, I paid for the cement sidewalk in front of my property from, you know, the sidewalk.
Anything on your property that you're restored in kind, is that what you're asking?
No, I wanna know how can we keep cement?
You're not gonna be able to keep cement, not in that walk, if we're replacing.
So
we
we're
have to-
going to be
we have
held
to- We have to rip up
hostage.
the sidewalk to put the water main down, so there's no way we can, it's an actual walk I'm talking about.
In the
Wait,
fourth,
in the 5 foot area.
I get that, so are we doing a red brick?
That
Are
would, what
we
happens,
doing
the way
a-
it works is they will give a submittal, the contractor, that's part of the process. They'll give a submittal with a sample brick, and we will review it, and ultimately, I don't pick colors, I never pick colors. But someone on the team is gonna pick a color. Usually it's some sort of, red paver or something like that.
Oh, so it'll look hideous. Because I'm gonna say, I think September walk is. The whole thing is that snow roads don't work well on brick. They don't. I don't know if you would ever, you have a shovel. So, a shovel. So, shovels and snow blowers don't function well, and the homeowners are now responsible, and they're lacking in their responsibilities to shovel. Thankfully, I'm not hearing them turning down the butt. I know that this is a problem. So there has to be a different option, because each walk is not having the target that we are taking. I know, I hate it. It'll look a lot better, it'll be safer. It'll be safer. So then when my neighbor walks by wearing her high heels and she trips in front of my house, I'm liable. Because the paper was off kilter. I'm liable. Now my my sidewalk right now is beautiful, nice and smooth, it's drained properly, there's no ponding, and there's no liability.
We can talk about this offline, that walk wants more concrete, they don't want concrete, that walk wants more concrete. Everybody on that walk, they want concrete, we're gonna do that. So, I mean, that's what, the reason we did this was to make the area more aesthetic. We put colonial lights, we put
Now,
if you want to support that, you can say, all right, we're doing this, if you don't have it, we'll say, look, we're doing this for you.
all right, then
I
also,
don't want you to have a problem.
with these lights, and I think my name is lighting? Are they going to be upward lighting or are they going to be focused down lighting? Because many of us.
Exactly what you see on oil, all the streets that we've done. But typically, those lights will go direct. We're talking about, maybe 20 feet. We're 20 feet of airspace all of the lights. So you're gonna put a light like that, so now everybody now has to restructure how they're putting shades on their house to block out the lighting. And you can't let it go down. this light, just so you know, they put what's called a glare strip on the side that's facing the house. That's part of the actual wood. It's actually, so one of those sides that you see here.
Is the house, the glare sheet here, is really gonna be on this side of the house?
Yeah, but right now the house on the other side, which is 10 feet away from it.
That's why restrictions on it, we're using on any efficient lights, but that's why it's what's there now.
I don't understand why we can't have some sort of a gooseneck, something that aims down and spreads that way, other than going into, you go into my neighbor's house. You go into my neighbor's house now with the downward light, it's like the middle of the day at midnight. I mean, but it's lower than your house, is what I'm saying.
We're starting with digging up, Walnut and West Valley, right? So my big question is, like, where are we gonna park? So, I mean,
They have their time. All day long, the construction is just that road is there, but at the end of the day, we're going to be opened up the parking, it's opened up the traffic.
that's
During the day,
not gonna work.
and that's how we do
Do you
construction.
work from home, or right there?
We go through construction, how we do.
Back into school and everything like that. So, I mean, you better open up that main parking lot, which is basically your, like, central location, like that parking lot, so a lot of cars. But that's gonna be like, kind of like,
They're going to mobilize in that area.
exactly. You can't just say that,
We'll probably have,
you open up stuff like that.
we'll respect the lot, and the other half, we'll be open for more.
Not if you're not parking.
Going up there, we could have them do the house, have it, the grass field, we have it mobilize on the walls.
Say that again.
The grass field, set up in park, we can have it, so it's walls mobilize, so when it's in the park, we can have something.
There's no way you're gonna, like, not allow people to.
That's something we can consider, we put on grass walls, we can do that.
Or if there's a way to get a parking permit that we can park on.
existing line, so they pressure test, they have to chemical treat the water lines, and they're also gonna check your existing pressure before they transfer you over to the new system, so you can make sure that it aligns with the pressure you have currently. That's part of the contractor's process, is gonna check your existing pressure.
We're gonna have that problem still for us. I'm asking because I actually looked at this on, you know, on the discussion. No, nothing is first, I think 2 months ago, but there's still those names that are putting in, so that's the public name. I just wanted to, so they have less.
Can you go back to the slide, 2 maps of the lines? If I'm reading this correctly, the sanitary needs are reading the same, is that correct? Just curious, if we're beating up all the walks for now, why we're not doing the sanitary needs at the same time?
Yeah, what happens is the sanitary and the water right now are the same terms, so that's like a full violation. Yes. And we put that way, sure. Yeah, right now, the other two, the other sanitary is doing the same time. It's supposed to be 10-foot separation between them. So right now, we're moving the water, the roads are now have a violation of that. And in the future, the only thing we can do is that we have to take these pipers and have, tap into that. So that's generally, that is the
And second, just on the, I don't hear again, you can't mark on the east side of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We'll change that for early, going to 5 o'clock.
Every project we do a good job actually here, and we always encourage them to replace their facility from the project, because it's happened to us in the past, where we do a project because they don't have to replace the estimate. And they're gonna start with Walnut and Olive. So the first thing you're gonna see, which is definitely please everybody with the project, is putting the main line in from New York to there, Walnut and Olive, the 6-inch main. That would be definitely, less disruptive.
But everybody, they have to go around house to help start.
They're gonna start doing that.
The main work can happen before that, but any private property work, we have to have certain funds, you guys have to sign up on that, agreement first. So you won't have any private property work until we set schedule a home, you guys can have those stuff first. But the main work might go on concurrently, so that way they can stay on pace with the project, the actual street main work.
I saw other lines getting mapped out, kind of by the church and everything there. That part of the state as well. No, there's nothing on that. I mean, that's part of the project, but I'm not, that would be nice.
I have a question that's not a residential question. I am the keeper of the Elizabeth Ryan Memorial Garden. Are the Memorial Gardens going to be affected in malls on land?
I will make sure they're not.
Okay.
But just
Listen, if you want to throw in the water stick over there, we can run it.
I just want to be cognizant that in the future, based on this meeting, you know, additional tenants, we can send them more, and then more.
That is in the center mall. That is in the center mall of Rand and
But they're not leaving open trench while you're on the
always have access at the end of the day. They have to have the road open, they have to have the walks open, they have to do their work. There you go.
taking up the road of West Valley that you would pick out speed bumps, so I just wanna make sure that's still in consideration.
And also, like a lot of special needs kids on our blocks, and they don't actually go all the way down, that street.
Set that petition too.
It's in the traffic department.
Is it like deputy inspector, or was it an administrator?
Officer Jamie.
Jamie Fife. 700 West Valley?
Yes, 700 block of West Valley.
And I know you brought this up, you said it.
What happens if they come from the restaurant, they don't see that as one way, and they fly down the street?
Oh,
The wrong direction.
I agree.
And we did go through a process about it that actually was that, traffic monitor thing, like that, the speed monitor thing, so that was already put out. So they went through that process already, so I just wanna make sure that we bring that up as well. That should be in the mix here.
Yeah, so you have people here taking notes on this video. You have officials, just in the mortgage here, just heard what you said. So, it's trouble,
No, I mean, that's what your full presentation, any more questions, you're welcome then. This is gonna be on the website. I'm always available, the commissioner, I always do a policy, I'm always around, so, everybody knows me, knows I'm here to help you, so.